I wonder how much those GameCube component cables are. I mean, last time I checked, there was a few years ago, and they were about $300. And the price had to have gone down since then, right? Well, that is a resounding no. Huh. You know, it's a shame that no one's been able to reproduce those because of Nintendo's proprietary decoder. At least, no one was able to do it in 2001. I wonder. Those could work. This video's featured comment is brought to you by Deinterlacer, who says, "I love your vids. Seeing these old treasures getting repaired and modded brings back so much memories." Thanks for the comment, Daniel. Glad we could trigger some nostalgia for you, so be sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below for a chance for it to be featured in an episode of VideoGame OR. Now, on to the video. Hello and welcome back to the VideoGame OR, the series where we show you the process in repairing and restoring all things gaming. Today we're taking a look at a newly released set of GameCube component cables from Kaico Labs. If this ends up being all it's cracked up to be, you could save a lot of money, so without any further ado, let's review this $80 adapter.
The following product was not provided by Kaico Labs for the purposes of review. Therefore, the opinions are my own and are not influenced in any way, shape, or form by any third party.
Taking a look at the least interesting part of this adapter, we have the box, which touts Kaico GameCube to Component, and Kaico GameCube to Component, then Kaico International, and some more Kaico GameCube to Component, and one more Kaico International for good measure. Taking a look at the back, it advertises running GC Video Lite, in addition to being a plug-and-play alternative to OEM component cables, as well as compatibility with upscalers or being hooked directly to your TV, and an output resolution of 480p. Also, a high-quality metal shielding and support for all PAL and NTSC DOL001 GameCube revisions. Taking a look inside, we're greeted with an anti-static bag containing all the contents and a warranty card. We all know how much I love those. Shifting our attention to the contents of the bag, we have an injected molded support for the adapter portion of the cable and the cable itself. Looking at the RCA jacks, they have a decently thick cable which should mitigate any interference, in addition to a few Velcro cable ties to keep things neat. Our adapter comes wrapped in a condom for some reason, but after removing it, we can take a closer look at the metal enclosure for this adapter. Now this is running a version of GC Video, which is a homebrew video encoder meant to take advantage of the digital AV output on the GameCube to provide excellent video quality over standard AV cables. That being said, be sure that your GameCube has the digital AV output before purchasing this adapter, as without it, this would be kind of pointless. Now, connecting the support to the GameCube is relatively straightforward. Just line it up with the vents under the digital port and snap it in. Inserting the adapter is just as simple. Be sure the beveled corners are facing upwards and insert it into the console, applying pressure until you hear a click to make sure that it's fully seated. With the adapter attached, you're looking to gain about a few inches to the back of the GameCube for a total of about 2 inches. As for the rest of the world, that's about 4.5 centimeters. Now that's out of the way, let's move on to what we'll be throwing this adapter up against for the comparison footage. First we have the RetroTink 5X, which is a $300 multi-purpose upscaler compatible with component, composite, S-Video, and SCART inputs. This thing has a whole host of settings to make your retro consoles look great. Settings used in this video will be in the description down below. Next we have the Carby, an $80 GameCube to HDMI adapter also running GC Video. That being said, this adapter also outputs a 480p signal from the digital AV output, while also providing the simplicity of an HDMI connection from the GameCube. Last but certainly not least, we have the Marcel Mclassic, a $90 HDMI external processor which improves colors, contrast, adds anti-aliasing, and upscales the picture to 1080p or 1440p depending on the monitor. We'll be adding this to the Carby for some of the comparison for a $200 solution for a quality 1080p video output. That should conclude our lineup of comparison devices, so without any further ado, let's head into that old mansion that Luigi commandeered. Taking a look at the direct capture from the $80 Kaico component cables, you'll immediately notice a significant increase to the image clarity over your generic composite or S-Video cables. Plugging the component cables into the RetroTink 5X for a combined total of $380, you'll notice that the image is given a bit more contrast and is upscaled from 480p to 1080p with no loss to the image quality. Turning our attention to the Carby, which sets us back to the $80 mark, you'll notice a significantly brighter image when compared to the component cables or RetroTink 5X video output. Pairing the Carby with the Mclassic for a combined total of $170, you'll notice a boost to the colors and contrast in addition to a 1080p resolution and the introduction of anti-aliasing, providing you with a very clean image. Comparing all the options side by side, you'll notice that the Kaico cable, Carby, and RetroTink all have a significant amount of jaggies around the edges of geometry. This is a fault with the hardware that is cleaned up when pairing one of the HDMI outputs with the Mclassic's anti-aliasing mode. That being said, although the RetroTink 5X has an HDMI output, it was not paired with the Mclassic in this review as to compare the Kaico cables to the most cost-effective alternatives out there. Now, before the final thoughts on this product, let's take a look at these video output options within a pool of different games. Overall, Kaico has provided a great alternative for one seeking component cables for their GameCube, as it is significantly cheaper than the OEM equivalent. However, if you're not planning on using this cable with a component-compatible CRT/PVM or some form of an external upscaler, there are other alternatives for modern TVs that'll provide great video while still keeping the cost low. So if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe so that you don't miss anything new from the Video Game OR. Also, feel free to leave a comment on what you want to see covered for a chance for it to be featured in the next episode. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.